On April 11th, the Trump administration sent university leadership an ultimatum. The main stated complaint propelling the ultimatum is a charge that the university has permitted the growth of anti-Semitism such that Jewish and Israeli affiliates have been subjected to a hostile environment that has denied them access to equal educational opportunities protected pursuant to Title VI of the 1964 Civil Rights Act. On April 14th, Alan Garber announced that Harvard would not accept the proposed agreement. The university, he asserted, would not surrender its independence or relinquish its constitutional rights. President Garber also announced that the university was suing in defense of its rights. The university's argument is that the government is encroaching on the university's constitutional rights by attempting to take over its academic affairs for ideological reasons. On May 22nd, the Trump administration, more specifically the Department of Homeland Security, revoked effective immediately the certification required of a university to enroll students from abroad, a category that constitutes about a quarter of Harvard's student body. Harvard again sued the government, contending that this revocation is a blatant violation of the First Amendment, the Due Process Clause, and the Administrative Procedure Act.
All of us know Harvard is nowhere near perfect. The university does have issues to deal with anti-Semitism, with Islamophobia, with racism, and in a general way with creating a community that is welcoming to all and to all points of view. We encourage Harvard to continue in that work. But the immediate need is for all of us to stand four square behind the university as it resists an unprecedented assault on its independence, its financial well-being, and its ability to function without the overbearing presence of an ideologically driven administration.
We salute President Garber for standing up to these abuses of power precisely because his and Harvard's stance is not selfish. On the contrary, it reflects the courage to take risks on behalf of the freedom of all independent institutions of civil society and their right to be free from state coercion and threat.
To me, it's simply a pretext for attacking anyone with whom the president or the administration has disagreement. And we've seen that again with law firms, with corporations, with ordinary Americans, and now with colleges and universities.
Alumni have a very important role to play. We are not students, we are not faculty, we're not the administration. And so in some ways, we don't have the same kinds of constraints that others may have. And so we're doing a front of the court brief on behalf of Harvard alums. And so please not only sign, but send it out to alumni around the world. The brief speaks to our deep alarm at the government's reckless and unlawful attempts to assert control over the core functions of Harvard and its fellow institutions of higher education, without due process or any recognizable basis in law, and with complete disregard for the freedoms the Constitution secures and the constraints it imposes. The government has embarked on a campaign to deploy every power at its disposal to damage Harvard.
This is about Donald Trump's authoritarian project. It's about bringing Harvard to heel. It's about cutting down Harvard and sending a signal, and not just a signal to other institutions of higher education, but to other institutions outside of governmental control altogether. So you don't always get to choose what fights people pick with you. But in this case, I do think Harvard should be proud to have been selected, in a sense, to be the object of President Trump's ire and the object of his attack. And I'm proud that Harvard is standing up to fight, not just for itself. And Harvard should be proud that it's standing up to fight, not just for itself, but for the institutions and principles of a free society.
To have civic institutions of great import, like Harvard, that predate the very foundation of our country, step up in this moment and engage, and not just engage, but be prepared to sacrifice, be prepared to give something up. Be prepared to get outside of the game of survival and outside of the game of self-preservation. That is the level of commitment. That is the level of dedication. That is the level of focus that is required in this moment. It is important to understand, particularly as somebody who operates in the political realm, that this is bigger than politics. This is a moral question. This is a moral dilemma. This is a moral fight. Democracy is built on a moral idea that we are all created equal. Every single one of us, irrespective of race, gender, sexual orientation, religion, we are all equal. That is a moral idea. It requires faith in it. And absent moral leadership in this moment, whether from the left or from the right, absent moral leadership in this moment, our democracy will collapse on itself. And we're seeing that in real time.
When we started Crimson Courage, and it really started with a few dozen people, we never thought that it would grow this quickly to be thousands of people. But it really sends a meaningful signal. It sends a meaningful signal that, even as this core institution, this pillar of democracy is threatened, that the community around Harvard is here to support it.
I'm here tonight as board chair of Democracy House and its program Alumni for Democracy, which is stepping up to support the Crimson Courage campaign. Kneecapping research and higher education is no way to build the American economy of the future. I have seen in country after country how America is in strategic competition, most notably with China's autocratic communist government. These attacks stand to benefit China's government, not the American people.
So over the last decade, Class Act has grown from just one class into a model for outward-facing alumni engagement that connects alumni who work together to achieve positive social change. Crimson Courage is the most outstanding example of this collaboration. It is addressing two of the most significant problems facing our country: threats to academic freedom and the rule of law that underpin our democracy.
It has been incredibly heartening to see so much renewed pride in being part of the Harvard community. And as this event makes clear, being a Harvard alum means a lot more than just holding a degree. It also means holding a responsibility. And the efforts that we just heard about are powerful reminders of what we can do together.
Donations are a critical part of the AAUP strategy, but so are conversations. So more than just money, we ask that you give your minds, talk to your colleagues and friends, use your positions at your kids' schools, at your places of work, and in your communities to talk about what is happening in this moment. Everything good and honorable and fair and noble and hopeful in our communities and for our futures is at stake.
We need blue state universities and red state universities to be a part of the same team working together. All of us constitute a pillar of freedom for a free society. All of us defend academic freedom, make space for inquiry, make space for debate on hard questions. We do need the community linking across all of the country to do this work together.
We hope this is going to be a great start to building a really robust and engaged community of Harvard alums of all ages, schools, backgrounds, political persuasions, a community that joins together to support Harvard's resistance to federal government overreach, which opposes federal efforts to censor vital scholarship, and that works together to improve communication and mutual respect among people from different backgrounds.
And we came up with the name of Crimson Courage because we believe courage is what is needed in this moment. We do want that courage to spread to other campuses, and we purposely picked a name that could be replicated. We'd love to see Big Al Courage, Tony the Landshark Courage, and even Bulldog Courage. And we need your help to create a network of other college courage efforts as well. Because we believe that courage is contagious, and we hope that we can inspire others to join the fight and find their courage as well. And so tonight we're asking for your help to please join us. The first step is simply signing up and sharing the website with your classmates so we can stay in touch about upcoming actions that we hope you will help us to plan. But otherwise, the possibilities are endless.